But okay. I really don't want to talk about Sonic for a while now.
I am the true ultimate life form.
Well, if I had to be addicted to something... Hi, hello, yes, I wanted to do something a little off the cuff. Today is August 40th. It's the 20th. What the fuck is wrong with me? It's August 20th right now, and a new trailer for the Sonic X Shadow Generations game just came out. My favorite doujin. I wanted to do this video less so as like a way to generate hype for the new game, because admittedly, these trailers look pretty fucking cool. Like, the new, like, what was it, Doom Powers trailer, which just shows Shadow just absolutely tearing guys apart with his new powers and stuff. That looks really cool, and we get to see a bit more of the open world and a bit more of the stages. That's pretty cool. Honestly, I'm surprised there's any effort being put into this, especially considering that the last, like, re-release they did was Colors Ultimate. And I know it's not everybody's had the same problem that I had with that game, but that motherfucker fucking corrupted my save data near the end of a 100% save file. So yeah, consider me initially kind of skeptical, but the more I'm seeing of it, the more it does look pretty cool. And I am more or less going to be buying this strictly for like the Shadow content, because he's hot. But I didn't want this video to be just about the new re-release of Generations, even though like I am pretty excited about that. I want this to be a warning and a call for action for most people, mainly for your own sake. That sounds way more threatening than it actually is. As of right now, the day being August 20th, the PC version of Sonic Generations, the original one released back in 2011, is still available on Steam. When this re-release comes out this October, that will no longer be the case. And that is kind of fucking shitty. I don't like that. I get that it's more of a push to try to get, like, this new version out to people, but I think just outwardly denying people the original version is a little dumb. Now, granted, if you have the original version on Steam, you could still re-download it. That's not a problem at all. You could still do that, especially if it's still in your library and you don't lose your account. You're good. You still have it. But I'm more confused as to why they're charging for basically a whole new game if you already own the game on PC, when most people are probably going to buy this just for like the extended Shadow stuff. So like that's one thing that I'm a little like iffy about. If you're getting it for like consoles like the PS5 and the Series X or the Switch for some reason, like you're gonna have a good time with it. That's more than fine, because aside from like backwards compatibility on the Series X, there's been no official re-release of the game since like it came out for the 360 and PS3, which is really a shame, because Generations is still like one of the best games in the franchise. Just gameplay and level design is like pretty top tier. Like, it's genuinely probably some of the best that the franchise has ever provided us. But that's not the main reason why I'm making this video. As much as I love Generations, I want people to experience like the best version of Generations, and for all we know, maybe X Shadow Generations will be the best version. Did I really just say X Shadow Generations is shorthand? For all we know, that could be the definitive version. It could possibly run the best. It could possibly have the most content. Content-wise, yeah, but for the base re-release of Generations, I highly doubt it, because they've literally shown barely anything of, like, the base Generations re-release. It's mainly just been the Shadow stuff, which, again, is really cool. And, again, we know why they're pushing this as much as they are, because of, like, Sonic Movie 3, which, people, calm fuck down. The trailer will be out soon. For all we know, it could be out by the time I make this video. And if it's not, Paramount's got a really weird press strategy. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm fine. One of the things I want to mention to people is that if you are at all interested in playing Generations in any form or fashion, I would genuinely say, don't wait for the re-release. Go on Steam right now. If you have a Steam account, go on Steam and get it. Get the base version that's available there right now, because one thing that I think a lot of people realized when this new version was announced is that because the original version's being delisted, that means all mod support will most likely go away. That's kind of a crime. For those who aren't really in the know as much about Generations, like on PC, since day one, has had such an incredible mod scene. Not just with like alternate playable skins, but like whole new level packs. I think one of the first ones that like really kind of lit the franchise on fire. That sounds like a bad thing. Sonic's lit himself on fire several times already. One of the things that I think really kind of ignited interest in the mod scene for this game was Project Unleashed, which was an attempt to port all the stages from Unleashed to Generations. That mod is awesome. But like, it's genuinely really cool. Not until we've had like an Xbox Series X and like it being backwards compatible with Unleashed. Oh no. Damn it. Okay. Quick side note. This is also, I'm making this video also partly as an excuse just to test out like my new recording setup for just videos like this, and if I ever want to do streaming. I like the way it looks, but damn it, the battery on that one just had to run out, and I'm guessing that one's probably not that much farther behind. So I can't wait for when this video progressively gets significantly darker, the purple light ends up going away, and it just is me with a spotlight on my face, because I need attention to live. But the mod scene for Generations has genuinely been like just so fucking good. It's been so good. Just the amount of creativity that comes out with it. Honestly, if you look up any like video talking about like different fan-made levels or fan-made like mods for the game, you'll see like it transcends like genuinely more stuff than even Sega or Sonic Team have done with the franchise. It's honestly is better in a lot of cases, which is kind of sad, but also, damn, y'all are talented. You should be appreciated more. And again, this is strictly me saying, like, I don't know how much this is realistically going to impact the new version of Generations, because for all we know, like, and again, this is just, maybe I'm being too optimistic here, but for all we know, potentially, maybe this new version of Generations, it could possibly be, like, compatible with the mod loader that people have made for the current version of Generations. I highly doubt it, but I really think, considering how much Sega has, like, encouraged fan mods, and how fan-related work has kind of kept this franchise alive during the 2010s, it'd be kind of a weird move to like not incentivize that, you know? It'd be kind of a weird move to not have that. But honestly, I think the bit that just confuses me the most is like, at least for PC, like if there's not going to be much of a change to the base mode of Generations, why not just have the Project Shadow release, or the Project Shadow, like the X Shadow part? Like, why not just have that as like a downloadable content, or just an expansion that you can download? And I imagine it would probably take some time to like reconfigure it or like make it work, but I don't know. I feel like people would buy that. I feel like, I mean, that's why people are buying this version. Like, I imagine that's the only reason people would buy this version of Generations if you already own the game on PC. Like, because I already own the game on PC. I own the game, both like my original copy on the PS3, which don't bother. It's with original gen versions of the game. It's really not worth it. PC version is like the best version. Like, I don't like to subscribe to like the PC race with a lot of things, but in a lot of cases, especially this one, it's like, it's nice. It's really nice. But I genuinely wanted to just make this to say like, hey, go play Generations. Go get the base version of Generations on PC, and if you really want to get the new version of it, like with the Shadow content, I don't think there's a problem with double dipping. I imagine, I don't know if like any Steam sales are still going on, but like if there's one in between now and when the game gets delisted, like snag it. Like it's absolutely worth it. And I think just even like beyond just the mod scene being absolutely stupendous, the base game is still phenomenal. It is still genuinely one of Sonic's best, like, 3D outings, which I know people are going to be like, it's like a good half, if not 2/3 of it is 2D, which, like, yeah, okay, like, I get that, but, like, I don't care. It's fun. It's a fun time. It is a good game. And anyone who says, like, it's not a good game, like, okay, we really need to just kind of, like, chill out. I know there's been, like, a move for, like, colors being, like, considered a bad game, and, like, I'm not gonna say it's a bad game. I don't love it as much as I used to. I think, honestly, like, now I kind of just view it as sort of, like, a mid-tier Sonic game, but, like, I don't ever want to see that kind of backlash for that game extend to this one. Like his Generations is genuinely just so good. I played it literally, like, right before filming this. It's kind of what because I wanted to do something related to this game. I didn't know if I wanted to do it, like, as a standard review type thing or something more off script, and I figured I want to do something more off script because I probably will do a full review of like the new version when it comes out in October, because I like the attention it gives me life. I'm losing the theme with this, Jesus Christ. But genuinely playing it through, like I don't know how many people care about my thoughts and feelings on the game, but just to, like, give, like, a general rundown, like, it's still so good. Like, all the levels are just so, like, fast and, like, flowing. I forgot, like, genuinely just how insanely polished this game is. Like, it's like, because I know that's kind of a weird thing to say for any franchise, but for Sonic, it's like anything that's, like, above, like decent programming is considered a masterpiece. But, like, this, and especially, like, because I was playing Unleashed as well, like, both these games are, like, weirdly good, like, well polished, like, in terms of their gameplay. Like, everything flows nicely. I didn't really feel any semblance of jank in the game, except for Planet Wisp. Jesus Christ, that stage still sucks. Maybe Colors is a bad game. Maybe I should subscribe to the mob. But genuinely, like, that stage is, like, absolute garbage. Like, it's not fun at all, and it just goes on forever. But every other stage in the game is aces. Mainly the modern stages, which I know is, like, funny considering that, like, I adore games like Sonic Mania for how well they flow, and, like, the classic stages in this game are really good too, but it's not quite the same. It's a kind of a different, slightly stiffer version of the classic control scheme. But that being said, like, they work around the limitations of the control with the level design. Like, everything still flows very naturally. I think just everything feels very bouncy. But again, if I'm going back to Generations at all, like, I'm doing the modern stages because they are just so damn good. Like, it's probably, like, a good mixture of the sort of ease of use that Colors would give and the sort of, like, fast-paced, almost, like, kind of, like, pretty freaking hard, like, energy you would get with the with Unleashed. But now it's like, it's just I don't know how to describe it. It's just fun. It's just a really fun game. If I'm ever going back to playing it, like, I will literally, like, if I want to, like, just load up the game, blast through like Green Hill through Rooftop Run, because, again, I don't care about Planet Wisp. That stage is really bad. But I'll just blast through those stages in, like, probably, like, 30 minutes, and then just be like, yeah, I feel fulfilled. This game is so, like, extremely fulfilling. And, like, that's not even, like, that's, like, just kind of the least of it. Like there's so much in the game already with all the missions, the boss fights. Okay, not all of them. Like, okay, some of the boss fights are pretty fun. The Shadow fight and the Silver fight and the Melasonic fight are all honestly pretty fun. This is, like, the only game I can think of that has actually good character bosses. So I'm like, that's kind of worth a round of applause in and of itself. But even other bosses, like Perfect Chaos is pretty good. Egg Dragoon is a lot of fun as well. And I can take or leave the Death Egg robot, but, you know, that's take it or leave it. Time Eater still sucks. Time Eater is still one of the worst final bosses in the franchise. Not that it's, like, hard or long. It's boring, and, like, it really like playing it again. It kind of is, like, weirdly not polished. Like, I'm playing it and I'm like, it feels like the game is, like, kind of just barely holding it together, which is weird because, like, I'm expecting, like, considering just how, like, again, I mentioned this before, but just how well polished the rest of the game is, this one kind of stands out like a sore thumb. Like, the animations are, like, kind of weirdly glitchy, and I know that's kind of the point, but there's a part of me that feels like this isn't kind of, like, it's a little off. But, like, other than that, like, I genuinely cannot think of anything that's, like, I would say is terrible about Generations, just from a sheer gameplay perspective. Now the plot. Plot-wise, the game is just a big fucking bowl of nothing. Like, I really... It genuinely feels like, while playing, like and watching the cutscenes, that if you were, like, it feels like that they had the game already, and they were like, all right, we have a good concept, this is really cool, this is really fun, and then they were, like, 3 months out, and they were like, oh, right, the story. And they were just like, the script just feels so fucking first draft, and, like, not even that it's like a bad script, it's just, there's just nothing. It's just like, conversations are so fucking like, what's this? Oh, it's from the past, really? And then, like, everyone goes back into their idle animation at the very end. Like, I noticed that, like, while rewatching the cutscenes, like, count how many times during the cutscenes, like, either Sonic or any other character in the game, like, ends by just going into, like, their idle pose, where either it's, like, or, like, in, like, a, like, hands on hips kind of thing. Like, it's really funny, like, watching it, because it's, like, almost like these cutscenes were just had to be put together so quickly, because, like, they're not, like, bad, but again, they're just absolutely nothing except the pre-rendered cutscenes. I don't know how I didn't notice this before, but they're weirdly pixelated. Like, it genuinely looks like, while the rest of the game runs in, like, real-time graphics, and, like, that properly upscales with the graphics, because, again, like, on PC, you can output in 4K and, like, even higher if you wanted to, but, like, for this one, I output in 4K. All the pre-rendered cutscenes look like they were rendered out at, like, between, like the most bit crushed 720p I've ever seen in my life. It's like, it's kind of weird to see, and I'm only really noticing it now on, like, if you watch it on, like, a 4K display or a 4K TV, it's really noticeable. I don't know how well it'll, like, translate in this video, especially if you're watching on mobile devices, but, like, it is so, it's weird. It's just really strange. But, like, again, plot is just nothing in that game. Like, you're not playing Generations for the plot. You are playing it for the gameplay and, like, and the level design. Like, that's why you go and play Generations. For as short as it is, like, you are playing that game for its gameplay. And again, like, if they deliver on that with Sonic X Shadow Generations, like with the re-release, I imagine that's going to be great. But again, and to get back to the original topic of this video, because I can't stay on track for the life of me, if you are to get this game, I genuinely would insist, try getting the PC version of the game now, like the original version that's on Steam. Try getting it now, preferably at a sale. Like, again, it's been out for over 10 years. If you can get it for, like, a good sale, then, like, snag that. It's absolutely worth it. Especially not just because the main game is so good, but, like, the mods, you could have an absolute treasure trove. Honestly, like, Ant Dude made such a good compilation of videos talking about different mods and different fan creations for that game. My favorite of which being Super Mario 64 in Sonic Generations. It's a terrible mod in that it's not fun to play, but it's just so fucking funny that, like, I would say it's absolutely worth doing it. And again, with, like, the new version of, like, the Shadow gameplay and, like, the story with that, I imagine it could be something interesting. Like, I think the new one is worth getting, especially if you've owned the original one for a while now. But if you haven't played the original, please get the original on PC while you still can, because chances are it's not going to be there come October, which is a real shame, because there's a lot of really good fan-created stuff on there that is absolutely worth preserving. But to put that aside for a second, like, if I were to look at, say, how I feel about, like, currently at least, how I feel about, like, the stuff with Shadow in this, looks awesome. Like, it genuinely looks really cool. Like, it's clear that it's definitely the engine used for, like, Forces and Frontiers, because it looks nothing like the engine used for Generations, which is, like, even funnier to me, because it's like, why didn't they just, like, Like, you had such a good engine with Unleashed in Generations. Why did you remake it? But that's neither here nor there. What they have now looks really good. A lot of the music that's been released for the new version looks really, it just sounds so good. That remix of Final Rush goes so hard. Like, just hearing that like intense drum beat and guitar solo at the beginning, it hits like nothing else. It's really, really cool. Kingdom Valley looks great. I love that they kind of had the guts to show a before and after of like original Sonic 06 with like this new version of Kingdom Valley, and it's like, wow, it is kind of night and day. Like, I'm so used to like doing the before and after comparison with like Project 06, which is just hilarious to see, considering that that game was made almost entirely by one person, if not a team of like 4 at most. So I'm used to seeing that with fan created stuff, but it's nice to see like, oh, with the official stuff, we're actually getting like genuine improvement, which I'd imagine they would, because the game's almost 20 years old. Anyway, but a lot of the stuff I've been seeing looks really cool. The one thing I do hope is that, considering like how well done the storytelling was in Frontiers, like for all Frontiers problems, like it's like one of the things I will absolutely compliment it for is its writing and the way like voice direction was handled. I think that was probably, that's some of the best that the series has had in a long time. So I hope they inject a bit of that into this new version. I hope they inject some of that into Shadow as well, because I feel like you could have a lot of fun with like how, like, with Shadow going back in time through all of like his previous like adventures and stuff, because like of all the characters, he's the one that probably has the most mature arc out of everybody, which is hilarious considering that his own game is the most immature thing I've ever seen in my life. But I think you could definitely do some really cool stuff with him in this version. I don't know how likely it is to like be anything like too crazy, because again, it is again, trying to like be realistic with this. It is basically just an extension, like an extra mode on top of a re-release of Generations. Although it would be really funny if the re-release of Generations ended up being the extra mode to this Shadow game, which, if there's more content in the Shadow portion over the Generations re-release, that'd be hilarious. It'd be kind of shitty, especially since, again, the PC version's being taken down, but again, cosmically kind of funny. But in general, I am looking forward to like what they have with that. I do hope it is a more interesting story, but as long as the gameplay's fun and the levels are flowing as they are in Generations, that's all that'll matter. I don't think they will, because as much as I like Frontiers, it is not a polished game at all. Like, it definitely is a case of like it kind of holding together enough, and once you kind of learn to work with the jank, you can get some real fun out of it, but that really shouldn't be like a compliment to it. Like, working with its flaws to your benefit is not really a good thing, but I hope that it is at least really good. And again, like, if you've never played Generations and you just want to play it on console, like for the first time ever, get it. Like, I hope it's good. I hope it is really good. Like, I do intend on getting it. I'm not getting that deluxe edition, because for as much as I would love that Dreamcast statue with both Sonic and Shadow, that thing looks awesome, I have a wedding that I need to worry about, and I don't really feel like spending $275 on a Dreamcast when I already own 2 of them. But again, if you want to experience the game for the first time, absolutely go get it. Like, if you want a game that's basically just pure fun, absolutely great gameplay, and you don't care about the story, then you're gonna have a great time with Generations. Generations is basically the exact opposite of The Last of Us, in that it has a bare as hell story, but really good gameplay. Oh wow, a segue. Okay, yeah, so it's been a hot minute since I've uploaded anything of like substance to this channel, and I don't want to give any excuses, because a lot of that is very much on me. So sorry about that. I genuinely am, but I am looking forward to like the next group of videos. The next one is a beefy one. Like, I teased it at the end of the last review. Like, it is The Last of Us, and that one is, ideally I will get it done before the end of August. Most of the video is edited already. I just need to get a couple more like pickup shots. You can actually see, because I have my main camera out, just on standby for whenever I need to like record extra stuff. But again, I don't want to give any excuses for why that next video has been taking so long. Anyone actually cares that much. If you do, I really appreciate that, and also I'm really sorry that it took so long. I could go into like my reasons for that, but like I don't want to give excuses for that. Like it's a lot of it's on me. That's all I can really say. A lot of that's on me. But that's the next review that's coming out. Hopefully, again, should be done before August is over. And if you would like to watch it early when it is finished, we do have a Patreon. God, I hate myself. I sound so conceited when I say that. Okay, to get my sort of self-shilling out of the way, recently I started a Patreon for the channel. Mainly as just a way, like, again, like, I think most people who know what Patreon is, like, get it, and I then would understand that. But again, it's a way to just help, like, support me and the others on this channel who want to, like, make more stuff. Just more directly, because again, just getting paid through YouTube specifically is like not the best of options, and I love doing this. And for the kind of stuff that you're gonna see in The Last of Us review, like especially for like the beginning, like that's some stuff I really want to do going forward, especially for bigger videos. But that takes time, that takes some money to do, and again, I hate saying this. I hate promoting myself like this because it sounds really conceited. I don't want to sound like I'm asking for money, but oh my god. Okay. Did my shoulder just crack right there? If you like what we're doing on this channel and you want to support us, the link to the Patreon is in the description below, and it will be at the end card of every video going forward. Tier 2 and 3 will either get you a written shout out or a video shout out at the end of the video. Also, we'll get you other perks like behind the scenes content and early access ad-free to videos as well. Possible, and also like polls to future videos. If I'm caught between two specific videos I want to do, you can access those as well. So again, it's nothing crazy. And again, like I don't want to like pressure or force anyone to subscribe to that Patreon if they don't want to, or if they can't afford to do so. Like, please do not feel inclined if you do not want to, like, or if you can't. Like, that's perfectly fine. I do not expect anyone to do that. But I just wanted to give the option for anyone who does actually like what we do on this channel and wants to support it going forward. And I think especially with The Last of Us review, I think that one especially is one that I am really proud of so far. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you do want to see it a few days early than everyone else, ad-free, it will be available on there once the video is finished. Plus, any behind-the-scenes stuff I can upload as well. That'll be up there as well. That's available now. That's up and running. If you would like to support it, like, I would greatly appreciate that. But if you can't, or if you, like, I just hit the microphone. If you want to support people who hit microphones, the link is in the description below and on the card up top, and will be at the end card of the video as well as every end card going forward as well, like, just as a heads up. And if you can't support it or you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. I do not want to pressure anyone into doing that. God, I hate doing that. Okay. If you're wondering why I'm acting so weird about that, it's like I don't like asking for that, and there is sort of like a common theme of like seeing YouTubers like drain money from people, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to come across as someone who does that. And in general, like I always just hate asking for stuff like this. It just makes me feel like, I don't know, it makes me feel like exploitative, even though like there's really nothing wrong with doing that. But again, if you're wondering why I'm acting weird about that throughout the whole thing, I genuinely had to like start and restart because I did not like how I sounded going forward with that. But if you, again, if you're wondering why I'm acting weird, that's why. And I hit the microphone again. If you really like microphone abuse, please subscribe to the Patreon. with that being said, I hope you guys found some entertainment with this. And again, go get Generations on PC while you still can. It is worth it. So with that being said, oh my god, I just realized I haven't done an outro for videos in a long time. Like, genuinely, like, when was the last time I did an outro for a video? I'm looking this up. Hang on.
I'm Sean the Game Boys Hero. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.
Yeah, I'm glad I dropped that.